Hello, today I want to talk about strength in solitude. Um, this is for women reflecting on love, imperfection, and I want to talk about one woman's story, Anne Morrow Lindbergh. I love reading biographies. I always want to hear someone else's life story. Our journeys are all so different, and yet they're also similar at the same time. It's probably why I'm a life coach. Today, my story is about Anne Morrow Lindbergh. There are many times in our lives where we look at our relationships not with dreamy eyes, but with honest ones. We begin to see not only the love that we've nurtured, but also the gaps, the silences, and the unmet needs. For many women, these moments feel lonely, uncertain, but in them there's a quiet strength, a strength that I could see so clearly in the life of Anne Morrow Lindbergh. You may know her as the wife of Charles Lindbergh, the heroic pilot who crossed the Atlantic. Also, the mother and her husband, Charles, had a child that was killed in a kidnapping incident when he was only a baby. That's what we know about them because it's told so often. But she was much more than a wife. She was a writer, a mother of five, an aviator herself. She was also a woman who knew what it meant to live in the shadow of a powerful man, to carry the weight of family, and to weather the shifting tides of a long marriage. She wrote about these things not with bitterness, but with grace in her beautiful book, Gift from the Sea. I really recommend it if you haven't read it. One chapter, Oyster Bed, has stayed with me like a conversation with a wise friend. In it, Anne speaks of marriage, not as a perfect fairy tale, but as something layered, gritty, and real. She compares it to an oyster bed, rough and sometimes uncomfortable, but capable, through time, of creating something luminous. Isn't that what many of us hope for? That even in the struggle, something lasting and meaningful might take shape. Anne's marriage to Charles Lindbergh was far from ideal. He traveled often, emotionally distant at times, and painfully he fathered children with another woman, a truth Anne only discovered after his death. And still she stayed, not because she had to. She had money, she had talent, and she had a voice. But she stayed because, in her own words and actions, she chose a different kind of strength, the strength to endure, to reflect, to raise her children, and to write her truth. In a culture that often equates leaving with empowerment and staying with weakness, Anne's story offers something more nuanced. Her staying wasn't passive, it was thoughtful. It was rooted in wisdom, not resignation. She understood that relationships evolve and that sometimes the deepest growth happens not in leaving, but in remaining and reshaping our expectations of love. Many of us ask ourselves quietly and sometimes painfully, is this the relationship still right for me? Am I seen? Am I heard? Or am I loved? Am I still myself in this partnership? These are brave questions, and Anne does not offer a one-size-fits-all answer. Instead, she invites us to look inward. In her solitude, she found space to reclaim her voice. Through writing, she sorted through confusion, longing, and hope. She reminds us that it's okay to feel alone, even when we are partnered. It's okay to admit that love changes and that we do too. But she also reminds us that meaning can still be found in the quieter seasons of love, when the passion of youth fades, when the children are grown, when we sit beside a partner who no longer feels like a mirror. There is still potential for depth, for forgiveness, and for finding something new. Anne's story is not a moral lesson. It's not about staying or leaving. It's about choosing thoughtfully, living authentically, and honoring the complexity of our lives. Whether you are in a committed partnership, divorced, remarried, or still wondering what love means to you, her words offer space for reflection rather than judgment. What do you need from your relationship today? Not 10 years ago, not 20 years from now, but right now. What part of you do you miss? What would it look like to reclaim part gently with grace? And can you see your partner not as a fixed figure, but as someone changing too? Can you honor what you have built together, even if it no longer looks like the dream that you once had? Anne Morrow Lindbergh didn't offer her life as a polished gem. She offered it as layered, weathered, and real. And like the oyster bed that she writes about, something beautiful was formed there, not in spite of the hardship, but partly because of it. You don't need to have all the answers today. You only need the courage to ask questions. Whether you stay, rebuild, redefined, or let go, you deserve a life that honors who you are becoming. So take a breath. Let Anne's words speak to you and walk with you. You are not alone in your wondering, and you are not weak for loving through complexity. There is a strength in your solitude, and maybe, just maybe, there is still a gift waiting to be found in the sea of your own story. If you are wanting to seek wisdom in your life story and find the strength in your solitude, please go to mammothedge.com and take the life assessment. I would love to listen to your life story and help you continue writing it as you move through. Thank you.